Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Peacock Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Peacock all Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and as with many things, I take Peacock Christmas movies on a case-by-case basis. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh, it's good to be back with you, Alonso. I gotta say, I haven't been with you while the new intro plays. Your thoughts?
Yeah, funny. That was my question for y'all. What were the thoughts? What's the strategy here? I don't know.
That was my first time I heard it in ear, and I hated every second of it. Yeah,
just wondering what the overall philosophy here was. What were we thinking?
Well,
I think what we try to do each and every week here on this daily podcast is to alienate as many people as we can as early in the podcast as we can. And so we consider this to be like a sign. Like
to be
abandon all
Alonso,
hope.
we just were trying to give people a chance, a jumping off point, if you will.
Yeah.
If you can't make it past the intro, you're probably not going to like the show.
Maybe you should double up and have one of the lines of the song be, "We're still glad that Jack is dead,"
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Double down on that. Alonso, how are you? It's been a minute and a minute.
It has been a minute. I'm much better, thank you. I came home from Bramblefest with a little souvenir called COVID, but obviously it was not like a super spreader event or anything because there were very few of us. So I'm sure it was some other random thing. Maybe it was my walk through downtown Greenville where I was the only person wearing a mask. I don't know. But in any event, not here to cast blame. I'm feeling better now. Thank you, Paxlovid, and delighted that we're going to be digging into some 2021 Christmas movies that we missed as we gear up for a countdown to Christmas.
It's wild to think that we missed some. Do you know what I mean? It's wild to think that that's a thing, but we missed, on the show, we missed over 100. So
for sure, yeah.
I just can't believe it.
And we've got some true doozies, I think. Yeah. Some things that we don't typically dive into, like a Christmas movie that aired on VH1. It's
what? Is that the pop-up video that Brian's been asking for?
No, it's called Adventures in Christmasing.
No.
It's like an Adventures in...
all we're doing, it's going to hit a breaking point. There's more of these being made than ever. We're covering more than... And sooner or later, this is all railroading to us doing something stupid and saying we're covering all of them. I'm just letting you know.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
Yeah,
not
you'll
during
never
the Christmas
do it
season.
Within the season, no.
No.
You are a year-round podcast. I think you could apply yourself to this stuff and over the course of 12 months, get caught up.
I'm saying we could watch them all. It's not possible to put them all out. It wouldn't... Not on one RSS feed. Eventually, John Podcast will be like, no more.
Johnny Podcast is like, I've had enough.
You guys have put out too much stuff. I feel like we're already pushing.
I'm not asking to do it. I'm saying that seems to be on the collision course that we're on.
There would be no points. It would spread it out throughout the year. There'd be no point to do it in 2 months. People can't listen to it all to begin with.
That's right.
Much less.
You couldn't even do just Hallmark and Lifetime within that period of time, I think, without losing your minds.
Oh, it's good to hear the trash truck is back.
Oh, man. Is it Thursday again?
You guys wanted to do this earlier. This is what you get.
Man, it's good to be home, It's good to be home.
Alonso's actually big into robotics, is what he has to tell you.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of joysticks, and he's just moving stuff around. And
they're pushing the crap out of each other right in front of my apartment building.
It's a lot of fun. I'm excited to dive into this one. This was a Ron Oliver joint. This was the reason why Ron didn't do a Hallmark movie.
And he was filming this, and he kept putting it on Twitter, and everybody's like, man, Hallmark's going to release a movie called The Real Housewives of the North Pole. Turns out it's for Peacock.
It's for Peacock.
Yes, that's right.
It's for Peacock. And it is called The Housewives of the North Pole.
That's right.
It's not The Real Housewives. If you do look that up, you'll be sad because the movie won't pop up.
That's correct.
I will say, Peacock,
come on.
Can you put a little, I don't know, something into your algorithm that said does a little of the work for us?
The fact that I typed in Real Housewives North Pole and the movie did not come up was a mistake on Peacock's End. Not Mike.
Unless the same person who said you can't call it Real Housewives of the North Pole also was like, oh, and we're going to fix the algorithm so that even if you search for that, you're not going to get it, because that's how much this movie is not called The Real Housewives.
That's
of
right.
the North
That's the only thing I can figure is that there is some top brass at NBC Uni that said, over my dead body will this movie be associated in any way, shape, or form with the gold standard that is the Real Housewives
That's
series.
right.
We have journalistic integrity. We're not going to
That's right.
drag this little fiction Christmas thing into our hard-hitting reality television.
That's exactly right. Not interested in that. It originally aired on Peacock on December 9th, 2021, according to the internet, and it went a little something like this. The movie takes place in a city called North Pole, not North Pole, Alaska, North Pole, Vermont. Diana and Trish are best friends. Their families spend Christmas together. They live across the street from each other. They decorate houses together. It's a thing. They just love each other. Fast forward years later, and this is where our story kicks off. There's only 10 days left until Christmas. Diana is going through a divorce, but at least she still has Trish. They are well known for putting on one heck of a Christmas light display. They bump into a journalist for American Life. Don't look up This American Life. It will not pop up. It says we will not be associated with this movie.
We will not.
Who wants to take their picture for the publication. Her name is Kendall. She'll be back later. Diana and Trish's kids, Sky and Jake, they are grown now, and they are clearly into each other. Kendall, the journalist, pitches an article about Diana and Trish, about how these friends, they decorate for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. Everyone loves them. And the editor is like, hard pass on that. American Life is no longer American Life. It's America Life with edgy
style.
We're doing edgy stuff now. I need a little stank on this. Stanky on Christmas. 8 days until Christmas, Diana is at work, and the hunkiest Wildlife Bureau agent, I can say that confidently.
The hottest Wildlife Bureau agent of all time. Walks
into her art gallery thing, and she is really taken aback by this fellow, and I think we all are.
Yeah.
I think we were like, how is this guy not the greatest actor in our generation? Apparently, she's been asking for an agent to come for a while because the caribou haven't been around. But she didn't expect him to be this straight of a smoke show. So that was tough. We didn't see that coming.
Good stuff.
Trish and Diana are shopping one day, and they get into a huge fight, which is not like them. Diana drops the bomb that Trish cheated at charades. Trish throws a smoothie at Diana's face. Diana tells everybody that Trish's cheesecake is just Bobby Flay's recipe.
Oh, snap.
And word spreads around town that the two best friends are now at war. And this is actually the war on Christmas. I know we've been hearing a lot about it. This is actually the one.
This is the one.
And Kendall decides to run with it for her edgy story at the suggestion of her editor. Diana and Trish start going to war. When it comes to the best house for Christmas, they're now both going to decorate their houses for Christmas instead of working together, while Sky and Jake start hanging out and going ice skating together. Okay. They try to get their moms back together, but when Trish says, I'll accept your apology, that upsets Diana, and she says, you're going down on goats. It's a joke that only works if you saw it, but it did make me chuckle. I guess that Trish and Diana are still fighting, but all that I really personally care about is Sky and Jake, because those two are just Spark City. They're talking one night on a bench, and it's getting late, and she's like, uh-oh, I guess we've left the friend zone. And they kiss big ol' honkin', this ain't Hallmark, this is Peacock ones, baby. Diana continues to unveil new Christmassy art pieces in her yard. We've all been asking for that. People love it. It's really making Trish mad. She's jealous because Diana keeps hanging out with Kendall. She's already made a new best friend. But when Kendall's editor is like, we need more to this story, she then goes to hang out with Trish. My, how the turntables. The war continues when it comes out that Diana told Trish that Sky asked Diana to adopt her at some point. And Trish is like, I love my daughter! This bums Sky out. She didn't want to be pulled into this whole war. And her and Jake into a bit of a tussle, but all is fair in love and war. It's time for the big voting night. Kendall's boss shows up with cameras for American Live. And Kendall is like, this is awful. I hate this. I quit. And Diana and Trish get into a huge fight on camera. It is not pretty. They both decide that they are going to forfeit the competition. They don't need these trophies. They both go back to their houses and reflect and realize how dumb they're both being, especially after the footage gets released and they realize, oh no, this is not good. It's Christmas and they catch Sky and Jake together and they tell their moms that they are going to take time off school together, go to Africa or somewhere like that. And their moms are like, you know what? This is just what we needed to make up. They apologize. They hug. Kendall shows up and they're happy about that. And the smoke show brings a reindeer parade. His story is just kind of in there, but this is a very nice the thing that they did there. He brought the reindeer all back. It's very nice. They all end up spending Christmas together, and everybody ends up happy. And that, my friends, was the Housewives of the North Pole.
We did
do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Deck the Hallmark. We're back, everybody. Hello. It's great to be with you on this Monday. Great to be with you, Alonso, on this Monday. It feels right. We're kicking things off with a Peacock movie, a Ron Oliver movie. We love Ron around here. And a Housewives battle-type movie. Like, if The Real Housewives was a movie at Christmas time, this might be it. I've never seen The Real Housewives, but this is kind of how I imagine
Can't say
it
I'm a
being.
Real Housewives stan myself.
Alonso?
Yeah, no, not really. I've heard people describe it as pro wrestling for gay men, but then I say, like, have you seen pro wrestling lately?
Hey, that's write that down. That's going
That's
in
a
your
good joke.
That's going in your routine. That's going in your routine.
Part of my type 5.
Great.
Someone in this house was a fan of the early seasons of New Jersey, but then got tired when all the table flippers left. So, but it's never really super been my jam. I had to look at IMDb to find out that there are cameos by Real Housewives in this movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so it's probably when they do that montage
Yes,
of the news spreading, and I'm like, this is not Vermont. There are too many people that look like they've lived in L.A.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this person that lives in your house also someone that maybe loves kittens but not cats?
That could be, yes.
Could be the same one, huh?
Might be.
Interesting, but Hallmark's too much. Let's talk about this movie. Alonso, what'd you think about it? Did you watch it during the holiday season?
I did watch it last year, actually, because I'm curious to see what sort of the off Hallmark movies are like, and obviously Ron Oliver is someone who has established his bona fides in this arena. Watching it again, I kind of realized like he is having such a good time, freed from the shackles of what Hallmark usually expects. Down to even like we talk about how Hallmark crams every inch of the frame with like lights and garland and tinsel and cookies or whatever. And Ron Oliver's like, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like he really goes to town here. And part of why he gets to do that is because you have a character who is insanely over decorating, which I think Hallmark would never do because they would ultimately like you to go to your local Hallmark store and purchase some ornaments and, decorative stuff. And so they never want to present that kind of thing as pathological, which this movie does. I admire the fact that you have multiple storylines and only 1.5 of them are love stories. Yep. That you can have like genuine sort of acrimony between two lead characters, which I think Hallmark would absolutely shy away from. It's not perfect, but I admire what they're going for here, and it's different enough where this is the kind of movie where if you feel like you've seen a lot of Hallmark, you've seen a lot of Lifetime, and it's all getting real samey, this one's gonna give you a little burst of something else.
Would you rather watch this or the Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito Deck the Halls?
Oof. This in a heartbeat. Never again, Brandon.
I asked Brandon the same question, and he couldn't make up his mind.
Couldn't make up my mind.
Tells you everything, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
I don't know. I think this movie was like too not nice for me. Like, I don't think I would like the Real
Brand.
Housewives series. Like, I don't like seeing people be mean to each other, which is partly my problem with Deck the Halls. The one thing that Deck the Halls has going for it is, like, I do really like the outside Christmas shows. Like, I do think it's very fun, and like the outside shows in this movie were a little bit underwhelming compared to Trisha's inside of the house. Like, the outside show was a little bit underwhelming for me. I really liked Sky and Jake's story, and I thought that they had a ton of chemistry together. Really liked them together. We've been pushing for a long time for Hallmark to do movies that the storylines aren't revolving around two people kissing at the end. And so I'm happy that this movie did that. It was actually like the main storyline was about these friends, these two friends that they're not going to get together at the end. They're just they're going to be friends at the end. But I really like that. I like that a lot. And so overall, I did enjoy it. When I'm watching a Christmas movie, I think I don't want to be like, oh man, these people bum me out. So that was kind of where I landed on it.
Ron Oliver has this ability to kind of raise the floor of these movies, and it's because he always has a great title card sequence to start the movie, and he always does some sort of Christmas motif. So, like in this movie, it is Christmas to the gills, and those two things were good. My big problem, aside from the fact that it does kind of, it doesn't ever feel like it's consistently moving in the same direction. It's all over the place, and it's kind of slow at parts. But the two kids, the 22, 23-year-olds, Sky and Jacob, I wanted that movie. This felt like a Love at the Christmas Table movie.
I was thinking about that too, yeah.
Instead of showing them every year together, it's the moms are busy doing other things. And so we just get it from the mom's perspective, and they have too much going on to really put any time into that. And so that was disappointing. I felt like every time we didn't get those two on screen, it kind of, it's a coin flip as to whether the scene is good or not. And then also, Betsy Brandt and Kyle Richards, I don't know how much. I've probably seen them in something, but I didn't know them very well from anything.
Betsy Brandt was on Breaking Bad.
Oh, was that? Oh, my gosh. That's Skyler's
Hank's wife.
sister-in-law. Yeah, Hank's wife. That's where I'd seen her from. Oh, my gosh. That makes so much sense. The whole time I'm watching this movie, Betsy Brandt looked like Kimberly Williams Paisley, and Kyle Richards looked like Demi Moore. Like both of them look like knockoff versions of those two people.
Well, and Kyle Richards has that thing that Demi Moore has too. So there's but Kyle Richards, she's actually kind of a blood relative of a Real Housewife. Her sister Kim, who was a kid actress from Escape to Witch Mountain and a lot of stuff from the 70s, is one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Kyle Richards you recently saw in the last Halloween movie because she was one of the kids being babysat in the original Halloween.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable. See, there you go. That's why we watch these things. So, I never really had much attraction to that storyline. What's going on out here? Are we about to all die? Are we good?
I don't know what it is about Thursdays. I think
is there a UFO landing, Alonso?
The city of West Hollywood hears that we're going to be recording, and I have my windows open, and so they just send out all the artillery.
Oh, my gosh. It never gets
Get rid of the heat wave. We're going to get trucks up by Alonso's house. Cut the heat. Cut it.
Oh, that's good.
Filming Nope 2 outside Alonso's back window.
Don't look, Alonso!
Don't look.
It's time for all the feels. Part of the show we talk about what those feels are that we got during this movie. Alonso?
I love the fact that Diana, for the entire movie, is like, I'm still getting over this divorce. I'm not ready to date again. And even with the appearance of Hunkarama wildlife dude, is sticking to her guns. And at the end of the movie is like, yes, let's see next year how we're doing. She's willing to sort of, tiptoe into the shallow end of this potential relationship. But I think other movies would have just rushed that because, that had to be the clinch that we ended with, because we have the youngsters being the sort of main romantic arc of the movie. She doesn't have to take that on, and so I respected that a lot.
It's that old trope of it being hard to not make out with someone who does the reindeer parade outside of your house.
Right?
Like it's tough to do.
Said it
it's tough to do, but she did it, and we're proud of her for that.
Exactly. I think that's a real show of discipline that a lot of us would fail. So, good on her.
I mean, have you seen her? Good Lord.
Love Angry Girl Scouts. Love Troop 9. I want a whole movie about them and how they run this town and how everyone is terrified of them because I love that. I always love Alec Mapa. He knows exactly what movie he's in and he brings that energy. And just the general bitchiness. I know that's a turn off for Bran. I like occasionally a movie that leans into the spice rather than the sugar. And so I don't want all my Christmas movies to be that way, but every so often I like a good mean-spirited Christmas movie that will ultimately end with reconciliation and understanding. But yeah, if you're gonna salt the road a little in the meantime, bring it.
Salt? Oh, that was good.
I
like
what
that
you
a
did
lot.
there. Nicely done.
I want Trisha's tree. I thought it was just magnificent and beautiful, and you can go ahead and just plop that sucker right in my house. I really like that. And
it's practically glowing.
It's
that's everything I want in a Christmas tree. Is I want all the lights on there, colored lights, white lights, but like the tree looks like it's just imbued with light. Like I love that. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. And good Lord, that kiss that those two kids had was not my Hallmark. Good, they just went hard.
Peacock!
And so shout out to them for Ron Oliver told me to go for it, and they indeed.
That might be a better kiss than has ever appeared on Hallmark.
It was.
It was something.
That maple kiss,
Sweet Autumn.
Yeah,
Sweet Autumn.
That's pretty.
Sweet Autumn's. You're right.
Sweet Autumn's the original big ones.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Yeah. Still,
I saw original big ones live.
Yeah, really? How were they?
Well, for the original, I mean, they were good.
I love the tree. I also found some of the jokes actually worked in this movie, which typically is not the case in Hallmark movies. The goat thing I thought was really funny. Like her with such confidence calling her the goat, not knowing what it means, and she just says goat.
Yeah.
So she just is like, goat.
And then when she finds out that it's a good thing, she says, well, I'm goat.
Her son just kind of pops into frame, too. Just kind of is like, Mom, that's a good thing. Just pops into frame. And she's like, ungoat. That was funny. Like, that worked, and that was like something you just wouldn't see on a Hallmark movie, and so that made me laugh. So those two things worked for me.
Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What and the What the Peacock here on.
We're going to have to workshop that.
Yeah. Contact Hallmark. We're back, everybody. I hope that you're doing well, and hopefully you got your trash out today. They're done with Alonso's house, so they're on their way.
West Hollywood.
They're on their way.
The trucks are rolling.
They're coming. Guys, let's do the Wait What's. Let's talk about what we saw in this movie that made us go, wait, what's? Alonso, anything stick out to you?
A couple things. It is well established on this program that we think that people slow dancing to Christmas carols is the dumbest thing ever.
Here we go.
People working out to Christmas carols might be even dumber. Like, yes, we need to see dudes, two-pack, or whatever she calls it, in action with his, at-home bench press. I saw 3 ships come sailing in. This is, I don't know. I'm not an exerciser myself, so I don't know, but it seems odd to me.
I'm not either, but he is benching a hefty 90 pounds. I'm serious. They want to show that the dude's a hunk. He's benching. Look, we all could do that right now, and I've not lifted anything from a bench press since I was in high school.
Well, I think low weight multiple rep is a version of this.
He's
right?
really maxing out there.
Yeah.
But I've never
low
seen
weight,
it in a
but
movie.
you do like 200 of them. I think
but in a movie where you get one scene to show that the dude is ripped and working out. They went with 90 pounds. That was a bold move. Just get fake barbell. Get a fake barbell and have him do more.
Inflated. He did not get the body that he has with a 90-pound bench press. I'm just going to put that out there as a theory.
And to the I Saw 3 Ships, it wasn't even like a good. It was like a weird karaoke version of it.
Yeah. It was like the elevator version of I Saw 3 Ships.
Not a version that you would. I mean, I wouldn't ever work out much less to that song. But I also wouldn't do it to that specific. There's lots of things I would never do.
There's a lot there that you wouldn't.
Indeed.
Be part of.
Ron Oliver has met some gay men in his life, I venture to say, based on available evidence. The couple that we get at the art gallery, including the one who, just to let us know that he's pretentious about art because he's wearing a beret. Like,
Yeah.
is this a sketch on the Red Skelton show? Like, what are we doing here? A beret in 2021? That was like
Bonjour.
Do better, Ron Oliver. I love that you talked about them going to a skating rink, which was a generous description of the world's tiniest ice rectangle. Like you literally, I think, bought that at Michael's and put it down that piece of plastic, and everybody just moved around it.
I honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that they showed whole body shots of them skating, I would have said that somebody just got a bunch of plywood and got some ice spray.
Yeah.
And they color corrected it because it didn't look like a skating rink.
A place called North Pole
Vermont.
in Vermont has to have a better ice rink than that Greenville. And in fact, they did not.
Yeah.
The ice rink in downtown Greenville, South Carolina is better than the ice rink in Vermont.
In
North Pole, Vermont.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up the highway at Evergreen, Vermont, as we know, they have a really swell
yes.
skating pond.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah,
come
real
on.
swell there.
I'm not a gallerist per se, but I do know that when you sell a painting at your gallery and you put the red dot to show that it's been sold, you don't put the red dot on the painting. That's not good.
Let me just ruin this for you real quick.
Yes! Let me deface this thing that you just bought. There's always a little tag next to it on the wall. You put the dot on that. And she puts it right on the painting. I'm like, well, that's ruined. Well done. This is how you stay in business, I guess. Messing up everybody's painting, make them buy it more than once. And then finally, this is less a wait what than just a general critique. I thought the snowball fight was weak sauce, given how much of a plot sort of point it's supposed to demonstrate in terms of like the worst of their feud and being caught on camera and blah blah blah. Ron Oliver himself has probably given us better snowball fights in movies where the snowball fight was less important.
I also found that with the importance of the snowball fight, the music choice there was also really weird. It was like a really bad version of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
Oh wow!
And it's like this big battle scene, and it's just like "We wish you a Merry." It's like a weird thing, a weird combination of events, and I don't know why that was the choice. I have a couple. She is an artist in this movie. And I do feel like I attack art a lot. And I don't know why. I can't pay worth a darn. But her son comes in and says, "Oh, you're painting over Dad." And I thought that was a joke. I thought that she was painting over the whole thing because it was so bad. But no, this is something that she actually worked on, and she's just painting over Dad, which I thought was an interesting
Unlike
thing.
the other movie we watched this week, or was it this week?
Last
Love's
week, yeah.
Portrait,
Yeah,
last week, where the painting is by someone who's an amateur, and so you're like, all right, that's not bad. She's supposed to be a professional. This is not good. Not good at all.
That's what the Peacock, but we'll get there.
Oh, okay. And I had to think about the bad version of I Saw Three Ships. So at one point they're getting boxes delivered of Christmas decorations, and the way that they let us know that it's Christmas decorations is by printing out on white pieces of paper the word Christmas decorations and taping them on cardboard, on brown cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
There's brown cardboard boxes with white paper taped on it that just says Christmas
How
decorations.
else will we know, Brand?
How else will we know?
Are you
When
saying
they're
that's how
UPS?
yours don't arrive?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not doing it from the right place, I guess. Dano?
In case somebody wants to steal something, just know these are Christmas decorations. I love the fact that this movie is just populated with such a diverse cast across myriad spectrums. But we are in Vermont, right? This is some weird utopia, Bermuda's Triangle place in Vermont, because no one looks alike in this one fictional town in Vermont somehow. It's fascinating to me. Everyone is of any age from 20 to 80. It's all different colors, all different everything, and it was very impressive. It was like its own little snow globe, and it being in Vermont was a little bit like what's happening right now. So good for them.
Again, up the road at Evergreen, they have a black mayor, so like
That's
Vermont
true.
is maybe not what we think.
But in Evergreen, they're still pretty white. I mean, until the fourth one, they're pretty, So my favorite one, though, is the art gallery, the couple that's in the art gallery, one with the beret. She doesn't want to talk to them because they're there every day, and she says that they're there for the free wine during the open houses. And then she waves to them goodbye, and my man is carrying out a bottle of wine.
Yes.
So at this open gallery, which she does apparently every day, you can
Every
go
year, I think.
and snag
Every year.
full every year a full bottle.
Yeah.
A full bottle of wine for free.
If you're a really good mooch, yes, you just, as long as nobody stops you, you're just taking it out.
You just like, the wine's free. Great. If I'll have a white.
When you wear
a
a beret, you do what you want. That's the rule of thumb. When you wear a beret, you just do whatever you want.
It would be great if you had the bottle of wine in one hand and like an entire wheel of Jarlsberg cheese under the other. Like, good, I'm good to go.
You got a wrapped Toblerone like in your mouth, just like I don't have hands for it. I'm sorry. I gotta go. This is all free, right? It's all free. Good.
See you next year.
That's right. $100 worth of wine and cheese and chocolate. Deuces. I'm out of here. Art looks great. You paint good. See you, suckers. I tell you, I will say this: that the decorations these two come up with are equivalent to the art we see in the studio. They bad. I'm sorry. How are these two winning? It's a disaster out there. Vincent Van Snow, what's going on? Like, it doesn't look good. At one point, they have like what I believe, I know she's standing on something, what looks like at least 7 foot tall snow woman in a bikini that apparently was her daughter's, even though that bikini is probably big enough for a mountain. It somehow was her daughter's bikini, and it's on the front lawn like it's supposed to be a decoration. I don't know how either of these two are winning anything. It looks real bad.
We don't see the other lawns, so
that's fair.
That's true. All we know is everything's even worse.
They tried. That's how they won.
It's wild to see a journalist who is the writer of pieces with an old-timey fashioned camera to take pictures instead of just her phone. But this may be the first movie in history that has a Santa in it that has an active role but doesn't have a line.
Yes.
So, it's not like a Santa in the background. This guy gets several scenes, but he never says a line all movie long. And I guess he's pointing at the shoulder. He's wearing a sling.
I think at one point he does grunt.
He goes,
but he never says anything.
The budget went to all those Real Housewife cameos.
That's right.
What are you going to do?
Clearly. Yeah. And then my last one, which I guess could be a What the Peacock, is the men and women hanging out after 8 is a date thing. Where did we come up with that? That just seems as arbitrary as anything I've ever heard, right?
Yes, but I want to jump back. Actually, I forgot about the old-fashioned camera thing. It is an old-fashioned camera, but there's a moment where she turns and shows them the back of it as though it were a digital camera, and they could see the photo. There's a lot happening there, and none of it makes sense.
It's time for What the Peacock. It's where we talk about what this movie didn't make. Or no, I'm sorry. It's time for What the Peacock. It's where we wonder what could have been. Maybe that gives a credit. Which do we have? Alonso, what are you still wondering about, buddy?
Yeah, so the big finish is Diana cuts her son a check and is like, get out of my house, which is a lovely moment. But she is able to do this because she had a great season selling her crappy reindeer paintings. And I want to understand the economy of this town, why her crappy reindeer paintings allow her to have like a retail space, a nice big house, and enough money left over at the end of the year to give her son enough cash to get the heck out of his room.
Yeah, I want to talk also about the reindeer.
Which don't fly, by the way.
They can still fly. I think that's how they got out of town. So the most attractive man in the world gets these reindeer, and he does
definitely the most attractive National Wildlife Bureau agent, right?
Not a question.
I mean,
if they put him in the uniform, can you imagine? With the hat and everything?
That historically infamous Wildlife Bureau's uniform.
I mean, it's no UPS driver, but it's up there.
Yeah. If Jax was here, we'd have to cut the show. We'd just be like, no, we can't air this. So they do like a reindeer parade through town to get what. So I want to know, like, really what happened with the reindeer, and was this path through a neighborhood by their house the fastest path back to where the reindeer are supposed to go, or was this a special treat that he, got his employees to do? Like, hey, let's
on Christmas Day.
Let's go walk by my lady's house.
That's exactly right. As sweet as it was,
you can spend time with your family, but I'm going to need you to herd some caribou down a neighborhood street.
Yeah, trust me, it's on the up and up. It's on the up and up.
Listen, it's
government work.
It's government. It's otherwise. You get paid double time. You get paid double time.
I go through.
That's right. Yeah, the caribou was a ginormous one for me. Like, how in the world does that happen? But I also had questions about Troop 9. I love Troop 9. You never see anyone that's in charge of Troop 9. Like, it's just these 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds who are just by themselves everywhere. And I'm concerned at how much sway they have in this town. If 5, 10-year-olds say they're on Team Diana, all of a sudden, like, that sways the judges? Like, that's a lot. That's like some mob-level, mafia-esque power that Troop 9 is wielding.
I think their den mothers keep disappearing. I think there's kind of a Children of the Damned sitch here where, like...
Lost another one. Fell off the back of a truck.
Exactly.
A kicky truck.
Yes.
Nothing I can do.
At the hayride, you don't want to get too close to Troop 9. You just let Troop 9 be Troop 9.
Yeah, Troop 9 be Troop 9. That's exactly right.
We did it?
Did Alonso? We all did it?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Everybody did.
Congratulations, everybody. We're going to be back next week. Next week's movie is called Christmas Again. It was a Disney Channel original movie that aired in December. It's now on Disney Plus. If you'd like to give that a watch, Christmas Again. Exclamation point? Question mark.
I'm gonna guess. Is this a Groundhog Day knockoff? Perhaps?
It could be anything.
No.
Could be anything. It could be anything.
No.
Could be anything.
Just wondering.
We'll see what happens. We'll give it a watch.
Is this the one where they go back to the Nativity? There's a Christian Christmas movie where they call Christmas Again, where they go back into time to the Nativity, and it is. I've never seen it, but I saw the poster and I was like, "This is absurd."
This was last year on Disney.
I'm thinking
Channel, so
Disney
I don't
Plus.
think
Maybe
so.
not. Wait, Disney Channel or Disney Plus?
It originally aired on Disney Channel, but it's now on Disney Plus.
All right,
but I don't think
this is Scarlett Estevez and Alexis Carr. This is not that.
Right.
But the movie I'm talking about is called It's Christmas Again.
Okay. Got it. Great.
Hard pass.
Well, we're going to be watching that next week, and we'll be back next Monday with that one. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.